How long can you scream without needing like a break or something?
Probably a few hours.
This is Matilda. It's her first time at a haunted house. We're just a bunch of theater kids who never grew up and got real jobs.
It's fake.
It's only fake if you don't believe it.
It's all fantasy, right?
This is all part-time and seasonal, so sometimes people just disappear.
So what's your thing?
I'm either gonna chase people around with a fake chainsaw, or I'm gonna chase around with a real one.
Oh.
Hello, how are you? Your film is so much fun. Perfect Halloween movie, I feel like.
Thank you so much. I mean, that was the design. And by the way, it's so nice to meet you.
Yeah, so nice to meet you too. So tell me, what is your like personal experience with haunts and like your personal relationship to doing them? Because they scare me so much. So I want to know your personal experience.
Dude, same. I am terrified of them. I am absolutely terrified of them. Before I wrote Haunt Season, I had only ever been to Halloween Horror Nights. That was the only.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, that's the only one I'd been through. And then Steve, who owns Realm of Terror that we shot in, I was introduced to him by the guy that I work for YouTube. And he was like, yeah, we should make a movie at the Haunt. And I was like, yeah, okay. And then I'd only been through it when it was closed, like to the couple rooms we were shooting music videos in. But then I just wrote a script during lockdown that was like my guess of what would be a good haunted house. And then when I like showed him the script, he was like, yeah, we actually have a bunch of these rooms already, like all ready to go. I was like, sweet. So the first time I ever went through his haunt was like when we'd already decided we were going to make the movie and the script was already written.
Wait, that's so cool. I love that.
Yeah.
Okay. I absolutely love how much this movie is such a tribute also to like the beauty of haunt acting and like how complicated and like the behind the scenes. And there's a particular moment of your editing of when it's the beginning. Sorry, I have a cat that wasn't a ghost.
Okay, I thought you were about to get murdered.
The cat always does that and scares people. It's so funny. You have an edit, like a sequence that's like kind of like one of those a montage of he's scalping her and it's got the slow-mo music too. And I just love that editing of kind of this beauty of haunt acting. And I wanted to hear more about like what you learned about the haunt experience and like being in a haunt, because I feel like you probably learned so much about the ins and outs of being a part of one of these things.
Yeah, totally. When I was like, yeah, we'll do this. And Steve was like, a bunch of the people who work at the haunt, I'm sure would love to be involved too if you would want them to be. And I was like, okay, cool. Because it's awesome that they are already part of the world. And
yeah,
I was a little nervous heading into the world because, like I said, I'm scared of haunts. And Steve's haunt is kind of a little bit extreme as well. Realm of Terror it's not like one of those touching you haunts, but it is like no, but it's a very gooey haunt, like it's a very gooey haunt. There's like a huge dark maze at the end. There's all this. It's very terrifying. So I thought I was going to be walking into like a bunch of like Book of Shadows people, like Blair Witch 2. Like I thought it was going to be very like Jeffrey Donovan, like, and but it wasn't. Like everyone was so sweet. And even when they're in the makeup looking all crazy, they're just so sweet. They're so excited that I was coming in to shoot a movie there. And like I always shoot their walkthrough videos so that everyone can see themselves in the haunt at the end of the year. Ever since we planned to make the movie, I went in and shot the haunt as part of our fundraiser video. And that was the first time I walked through it. You can hear me screaming my head off if you have the audio on. Like I took all the audio off for the fundraiser video so you can see the scary place in action, but the rest of it's like, oh my God, and I just loved everybody. And the thing that worked out for me was that it was exactly what I thought. It was very much like the indie film scene in Chicago. It's just a bunch of people who want to be part of something, who want to make something that entertains people. And for these people, it's just a little bit more scare oriented.
So you were a lot of the actors in the movie, or some of them were scare actors from Realm of Terror? Did like they make cameos, or was it all casting that you had found?
So it was like almost every speaking part is cast that we found. Okay. And like we did the casting calls virtual first and then in person in the city. And so like almost everybody on the poster is just actors. Caitlin, who plays Rosemary with the pink hair, I didn't know when I hired her, but has worked in haunted houses
Oh,
before.
cool. Oh, that's
Yeah,
awesome.
so I just hired her because she was the best and she had the best attitude as Rosemary. And then that year that we shot the movie, she then worked at Realm of Terror. She was like, I want to come back and work. So she acted, she did her whole part in the movie. We wrapped her, and then she went and worked for Steve. Steve, Knifehead Man, is the owner of the haunt. Bradford is the
Okay.
actual owner of Realm of Terror.
I was wondering. I was like, I wonder if they give him. Okay, cool. That I was so you loved it when you took the top. Again, like I am not a big haunt person, but and I just went to a haunt this weekend with my mom, and I was so excited to watch this because I was like, oh boy, I just went to a haunt, and I was just like very stoked to see all this, and it was really funny to see all of that incorporated, and it was just I don't know, it's fun. It's just like such a good,
Yeah,
like you said, good Halloween
that's
vibe.
the vibe. I just wanted to make sure that it was like a fun Halloween time. Like to put it on and you really feel the season because we shot it in the latter, like all the exteriors were shot in the second half of October, like in Illinois, like we shot them all the pumpkin patches and everything. That was right at the tail end of shooting, and I just went out at dawn after getting the location releases signed and like shot at all the empty pumpkin patches and stuff. And that pumpkin fest is just an event that happens here. They sign my location release and let us loose on it, like
I
it's
love indie filmmaking. Like, I know it's such a pain because I did my own indie film, but I just love hearing like you're like I just went and like filmed a pumpkin patch and I just went and did it, and I love that like just going out and doing it. Obviously, getting the
yeah.
location release is signed, but
Well,
like
if you don't get the location release, you're spent. So like,
you're yeah.
like then why did I even get up at dawn? But it absolutely that feeling, that vibe is I just love October. I love Halloween so much.
It's just the best, right? Like it's so funny because I work in horror and I'm like, to me, it's always October, but today, like everyone posting on October 1st, like it's spooky season. I'm like, oh, that is a special time. Like I'm so used to
Yeah.
being in the October mindset, but it is cool to see like
Yeah.
everyone
Then
like
the
really
doors open and they all hop in and join us for a month, you
yeah.
know?
And they're like, let's go watch some people get killed in like ridiculously cool ways because you have some fucking awesome kills in this on a low budget. Like
Thank
there's a
you.
certain kill with that long take and a mini golf course or something. Like I don't know. Like it's just you really accomplished some incredible things in this film in terms of kills and from the technical perspective. Like
Thank you so much. Like we
yeah.
definitely I wanted to make sure that the kills were at least done practically. And so our team, Corey
Yeah.
Ruby and Kyle Williamson, they built the prop pieces that the weapons actually interact with, so like those were just the pieces that bled. And like when you hit them with a chainsaw or you hit them with this, that, or the other, like you really get a real reaction of what a chainsaw will do to something,
Yeah.
which is awesome to see. And then I just spliced the actors in with plate shots and stuff into that same
That's so
frame.
That's
Yeah.
amazing. Well, and I was like the longer take of following Rosemary actually of her running around. How much of a pain was that to like because it's like a lot of running right behind her. That's crazy. So
It
what
was
was like I love that
incredibly
chase
difficult.
sequence. It was
Yeah, thank you.
I
It took it was a two-nighter because the first night we didn't have time to actually pull it off. And so then we had to come back and get it on a second night. And it was one of our longest days. But like getting the choreography of like her and the killer interacting, what the beats were for them and the timing of them running. And then getting Alex, our DP, like with the gimbal up, like ready to go, and then getting his movements all mapped. It probably was like 16 or 17 takes. There is like a tiny little splice cut in there to a close up of her reacting to almost getting got. And that's because we just could not get our killer through that arcade game frequently with like safe enough. At a certain point they got so tired. I was like, this is no longer safe. We need to just cut into
yeah.
this shot. It
Yeah,
was
you're
supposed to
like,
take
all
her
right.
all the way to the door, but that one little splice got us there. Like
You know what? It still
finally got
works
us there.
though. I wasn't worried about. I was like this again. Like I know how hard that is, especially you probably had a short shooting schedule and like not a lot
Yeah.
of resources. That's not like it was so. It's just cool to see when filmmakers like you are doing stuff like that in these movies. It's just
I appreciate
it's
it.
really
I love the long takes, Like I'm like
they're
I'm a
cool. A good chase. It's a good chase sequence. It gets you going, especially through the arcade. It's cool. It's just like cool. It's just like
yeah,
good
I'm a Darko
slasher.
boy, I'm a Darko boy. I want the
Hell
camera
yeah.
on a steady cam and I want it to follow an actor for a long time.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Well, okay. Can you tell me about like you worked on a lot of YouTube stuff. Can you tell me about your history with like YouTube and YouTube
Yeah.
videos and like what really quick?
So right now, my full-time job is I am a shooter editor for a music YouTuber named Rob Scallon,
Hell yeah.
and his channel is 2.5 million subscribers. He is a music YouTuber. So like he started out doing like like covers of metal tunes on like banjo and on like um mandolin banjo and like
Yeah.
and ukulele and things like that.
Oh,
Like
fuck yeah.
really
Cool, cool, cool.
like when the internet wanted like goofy music videos, that's how he came up. And then ever since then, we've done a bunch of music exploration, like instruments and building a guitar from scratch with a pro luthier and stuff like that. Um, but
Oh
then
my God,
before
that's so
that,
cool.
yeah, I mean, it's a really, really cool gig. It's a really
What a
great
cool
gig.
full-time job though. Like that's so
Yeah.
cool. Like
Yep.
you get to be I mean, I know it's still a job, but like it sounds like a cool kind of like creative challenges pretty often.
Well,
To
yeah, I
say
mean,
the least.
the bonus there is that Rob comes up with all the ideas. And I mean, like he's just like, here's what we're gonna do. I just have to execute it. And
Oh,
then
nice.
yeah, but
No
then he
way.
also is like, so he's not on the poster, but he is Josh who gets his heart chopped out in the beginning. Um,
Yes.
yeah, sweet, sweet Josh. And he and Craig, the other YouTuber, the guy who gets his head chopped off in the escape room, the two of them were the ones who, because he was in my web series before Craig was. He was in my web
Yeah.
series that we had a web series for 8 years before, like I started working for Rob, and then uh, after working for Rob for a while, I was like, I really want to make this movie, and he and Craig were the ones who were like, okay, we'd love to be in it, we'd love to die in it, and also we'll be the first investors. Like they are just the sweetest group of friends you ever did hear. Like,
That's just the best. You're like,
yeah.
I don't just work with them, like they are my friends and they
Oh
are like
yeah.
that's so amazing. Well, and what has it been like then to go from working on a feature from YouTube and like working in that space? I mean, it's just a different format. I'm always so curious what it's like because you edited this film too, correct?
Yeah, yeah. So I
Cool.
shoot and I production manage, shoot, and edit all of Rob's stuff. So then coming over here, like I wouldn't have been able to do this without Eliza, my partner in work and in life. She came on and she production managed and she did all the catering and she also did
Oh my God.
all of the payroll. She did
Oh, okay. So she was just like admin queen, basically, making sure
admin
everything got done by
extraordinaire.
admin
Yeah.
extraordinaire, admin master, admin.
Yeah, she also crafted some props and stuff. Like she just kind of
Oh
did
my
everything
God.
that needed to be done once we no longer once like because at a certain point there's just no time for anything and you're just trying to
Yeah.
every all hands on deck.
Yeah.
But
Oh
going
yeah.
from YouTube, which is a very fly on the wall situation, everybody wants a real
Yeah.
sincere kind of experience, almost documentary style, at least on Rob's channel. To going to the feature, we were like, we need to, if we're gonna raise the money and do this, like let's do it. So it's the first time we hired a camera team, first time we hired a sound team that wasn't just buddies of ours, you know? And it was our very first time working with like uh industry professionals and it was the best. It just was took way longer than we were ever accustomed to. Like I had to just trim my shot lists like crazy on the day, but like it was so rewarding and so worth it because it looks 1,000 times better than if I was shooting it myself.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Well, okay. Can you tease like a kill that you are particularly proud of? Not a favorite. We don't want to pick favorites, but can you pick
Oh,
a
I have a
kill to
favorite.
tease?
Yeah.
Oh, you do? Okay, cool. Sometimes people like, you can't make me do that. And I'm like, I'm sorry. But
Yeah,
do you,
the
okay, tell me your
absolute
favorite.
my absolute signature, what I consider to be the signature kill of the movie is there is a scare actor chained up to a wall and something comes through him and then when someone's still trying to help him get down, something else comes through him. And that is my absolute favorite part of the entire of all the kill gags, that's my absolute favorite.
Yeah. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for chatting. This is such a great, like, I keep saying it, but it really is. Like, it's got a good vibe. It's fun. It's gross. It's got a good heart to it. So I'm excited for everyone to get to experience
I so
haunt
appreciate it.
season. And
I
I'm
keep
not
call
gonna go to haunts anymore because I keep watching these fucking movies about the haunts and I keep getting too scared that they're going to get me.
Yeah. I mean, someday, you never know.
You never know, and I don't want to take that chance.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for talking. This was super fun.
Absolutely.